Hi, everybody. This is Mike Wendt, the production coordinator for the Greater Cleveland Film Commission, and I'm very excited today to talk about the film that we're community partnered for. It's Citizen Sleuth, and it's going to be playing Saturday, March 25th at 9:50 and Sunday at 7:25 at the Ohio Theater. And I'm very grateful to have the director, Chris Kasick, with us and producer, Tyler Davidson. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
For Chris, I first have to ask, first I have to admit, I absolutely love this movie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And you struck gold, I think, with Emily as your subject. How did you become aware of Emily, and how did this collaboration begin?
It really begins in an Ohio origin. I grew up in Cleveland. Tyler's from Cleveland. I went to Ohio University, which is in Appalachia, Mid-Ohio Valley region. And so I'm a filmmaker. I make movies, and one of my producers, Fabiola Washburn, had sent me the podcast in 2018 called Mile Marker 181. And it was just a character I had not heard, a unique voice in a region you don't hear a lot of people coming out of. And so I went down to Marietta, Parkersburg, and met with Emily Nestor for a couple of days. And it's just one of these characters you wait for. She had a conflict and a podcast, and she was working her way through an investigation. And so we just started filming. We went down to Southern Ohio. We had crew from all over the state coming down, and we just started filming in stretches. And it turned into a 4-year odyssey of with Emily as she was investigating a death in the local area. And it started as one project and it evolved into something else. And Tyler and his team at Low Spark came on board at a very crucial point to provide some financing that allowed us to really tell this story and to really get us into the depths of what is true crime podcasting and what are the ethics around it. And we wanted to tell it in real time through one story. And so we latched on to Emily and followed her investigation for years. And I'm at South by Southwest right now. There are only three audiences are going to see it before it comes to Cleveland. And so we're really proud to show it in our hometown. A lot of the characters who are in the movie are coming. And so this still feels very active for us. And so we really want crowds out in Cleveland to come out and support this film and be a part of this, because we're still just processing this now. And the next step is showing it to audiences. And so we're really happy that you guys are partners with us and that we're showing it in Cleveland.
One of the things I should have said right off the bat is that audiences of CIFF should recognize you two gentlemen. Chris, of course, you had Uncle Nick in 30, I believe, CIFF 38. And then Tyler,
legend in Cleveland.
Yes, take shelter. Kings of Summer opens CIFF 37. And then, of course, My Blind Brother, The Land, Emily the Criminal last year that just had some great success during the award season. Talk a little bit about how you both came together during this project as well.
Yeah, well, I'll say I think it was it the summer of 2020? I know it was like right when the pandemic was early on and raging. Chris reached out and he had introduced, I think this was a time in the process for you, Chris, where you were just really learning and discovering for yourself what this movie could be and how the story was unfolding in a very organic and very unexpected way. And it was that aspect of it that immediately drew me in. I do love the true crime genre. Just as a member of the audience, I'll watch those limited series all day on whatever streamer has it. And podcasts as well. I'm highly entertained by the genre, but at the same time, I don't know that I would have jumped into a movie about that process if it wasn't for the sort of unexpected turn that this one takes, and that ends up giving the audience so much sort of discussion fodder in a very provocative way, that, you know, that's what really drew me in. And so when that was being sort of uncovered on the filmmaking side, you know, we aligned with Chris and his team and really wanted to help see this through, and just couldn't be more thrilled with the final result.
It's a funny thing because we were filming, and there's a meta layer that's involved in this film, and it really hits at the core of the ethics in true crime and true crime entertainment, and the collision of facts and entertainment. And we had gone down a road with filming, but as the meta layers started happening, I realized that we need another perspective. We need people to come in and like look at us, because we were part of the story. And so when Tyler and Drew Sykes came on, you know, they saw me as the character too, and it was much needed perspective on how to tell this meta story with the larger implications, and they saw it clearer than I did at a certain point. There's one line in the film where Emily says, you know, well, I'm in the middle of it, you tell me. And I was feeling that at a certain point, and and those notes in post-production was going to low spark, where it was like, I'm in this, you tell me what you think. And now we're at this weird phase where we're all in this together, and now audiences and journalists are giving that macro on us. And so it's just a weird thing how this works. And when you're making a meta film, it's not obvious. If you go in trying to do that, you know, it's not going to really work. But it was these perspectives that happened along the way, and it wasn't obvious. And it landed us here at South by Southwest, and now we're coming to Cleveland, and it's just really fascinating how it works, and I'm still processing.
Well,
that'll never stop. That'll never stop. Yeah.
The one thing that's interesting about it is that there are a lot of these, I guess you can say, millennial types who become self-made, you know, celebrities, you know, with YouTube channels and with podcasts, and it seems like the pressure starts to kind of get to Emily at a certain point to capitalize on this success that she gets. Now, is it hard to kind of show a close eye on her when you were filming it? Like, because you have to build trust. Was it kind of like tricky situation, or was she just kind of an open book?
I mean, Emily, the main subject of my documentary, it's always a complicated relationship between filmmaker and documentary subject. And, you know, when we had started this, we didn't know what we were getting into. I was following her investigation. And then there's a scene that takes place at the Parkersburg Public Library where it was like the largest community event in a long time. And so suddenly we started feeling an external pressure, this lack of like local journalism, and where Facebook forums and Reddit pages start becoming like these community town centers. And suddenly there was a pressure on Emily to start delivering more episodes. People were coming at her online, and they were also implicating the documentary in this, and how does the camera change truth? And we felt like we were in something together. And then at a certain point, it became this codependent relationship where we felt like we had to tell the truth and tell this story. And it was a very complicated story to tell. And I knew it was going to take years to tell to get a complete character arc. And so we felt very much in this codependent subject filmmaker partnership that led us to be very raw and honest with each other, where it's almost like family, where I know if we fight, we're going to get over it because we have this larger message of this pursuit of truth. And it resonates in the film. And you can see the progression of our working relationship throughout the arc of the movie, where things get dicey when the truth starts really coming out and there's people coming at us, and it felt like we had to do this and tell this together. And this is like the subject of the documentary. She just saw it like a week ago for the first time, and so it's a lot of emotion and going into these things, and it's a working relationship that I still have with her, where we're still feeling this out. And it's so fascinating when you get down the line with these things, because it evolves, but the presence of the camera, it just adds so much stakes to it, because there's a written record of it, and you want to do justice to the truth, because ultimately that's what we're leading towards, is getting the message out of really what this movie's about.
Absolutely.
I just want to add to that, because I've produced a lot of features, but I have never navigated a dynamic quite like this one that exists between Chris and Emily, because for the first time, certainly in my experience, I'm working with a filmmaker who has become a part of the story of the film. And that level of immersion is not something you encounter, often, if ever. And, call it codependency, call it symbiosis. I don't know what it is, but they are inextricably linked in a very unique way that, will carry through not only what's on screen, but, how it's discussed for years to come here.
Absolutely.
And we're still trying to figure it out. We're still trying to figure that out. It's
Now, talk about now, and obviously this is for both of you, but Tyler, having such success with a lot of the big festivals, and Chris as well. What does it feel like to come home to be able to present a movie to the home audience here in Cleveland?
No, it's the best. It's the best by far. I think I speak probably for Chris too. This is, something when we saw the festival schedule and knew that Cleveland was going to line up with our plans here, we were both ecstatic. It was such a no-brainer to submit and get consideration, and we were just thrilled to be included. But yeah, this is where our friends and family and collaborators all reside. So if you can showcase your work in front of that audience, it's by far the most gratifying thing. I really cannot wait. I'm gonna have my partners at Low Spark in, and our friends and family, and it's just we're gonna celebrate this in our hometowns. It's the best.
So, and there will be audience or opportunity for audience Q&A with you both, correct?
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Both screenings, Saturday and Sunday night.
Excellent. Well, once again, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Want to give one more quick reminder that CITIZEN SLEUTH will be playing Saturday, March 25th, 9:50 p.m., Sunday, 7:25 p.m. At the Ohio Theater. You can save $1 by using our code GCFC. And then Sunday, please join us afterwards. It is the CIFF karaoke night at Pizza 216. So you don't want to miss that. I hope Chris and Tyler will get up there and sing with me. Perhaps it might be good. But, gentlemen, such a great film, and I'm so excited for audiences to experience it. So
thanks. I mean, we love the support from Cleveland. Like Tyler said, come out, support. It's going to be a fun screenings, and we want to connect with the community, because that's really what this is all about. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care.